sports, all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Whoa. We're going to take an hour break, and we're going to come right back with the start of the scheduled show like it should be, because I am effing tired, y'all. Notice, no jersey, no sports gear. I want to go back to sleep, but we can't. Maybe I'll go back to sleep in a couple hours, but holy shiznle, my niznle. We thought that this offseason was going to be boring. No, it has not been. We got lots to talk about. Only two people to talk about it. That is Coach over here to my right, my left, and of course me, your host, Charles Richardson. Welcome to the Touchdown Crew, everybody. You can always give us a call, even though we don't take a lot of calls, but you can, 813-699-5353. Go ahead and chat with us inside whatever platform you're watching on. If you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Twitch or Twitter or any one of the platforms that ASAP broadcasts from, that's right, the All Sports, All Plays Network. Coach, good morning. I hope you had your breakfast earlier than usual, because this time change sucks.
Oh man, yes, it does. But it was a great week of football, and we have a lot to talk about, so we're gonna make it happen. Oh, it's Mike. Happy St. Chicago Patty Day.
I'm over here thinking, it's like, listen, he's got better things to do. He wants to go watch water turn green, for Christ's sake. So that's a little more important. What's going on, Mike? Good morning there, sunshine.
Good morning, boys.
It looks like you just woke up like 10 minutes ago.
I did.
Hungover, I assume, too.
Very. In a good way, though. We're okay. Got some waffles over here.
Get some waffles?
We're doing all
right. We got Eggos?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, man. Okay. Regular Eggos, man, they're whack. But if you get the new fluffy Eggos, man, the ones that look like this thick, the Belgian waffles, you got to get those, man.
Yeah, you got to get the big ones, man. Like the big, thick ones. All right.
No. Those are the saucer ones, man. Those are the ones you play Frisbee with. I'm talking about the thick ones that you can actually – I'm talking about the thick ones, man. You can go ahead and put syrup in the squares.
This video is sponsored by Eggos.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was sponsored by Eggos. I don't know if everybody's going to take that.
100%.
Yep.
Oh, man. What is this, bro?
What? I don't know, man. It's the same thing. I crawled out of bed at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock now. This time now. It would have been 8, but I called at 9. I'm over here waking my ass up. My hair's all over the place. I'm over here logging into to StreamYard to go ahead and send stuff up. I'm barely able to read what Freddie went ahead and posted for the code. It's like,
yeah, dude. No one told Drunk Mike that it was we were losing an hour of sleep. So yeah.
No. They told you. You just didn't want to listen.
No one told him.
No. Well, we should have sent you the memo.
Someone should have said something.
That nobody came up with.
Exactly.
So all we're gonna do now, we gotta bust Randy's chops. Now Randy's not here, so it's like we gotta bust his chops.
No, I'm blaming the weatherman of Tennessee, because Randy was done dirty, I guess you could say, because he was told it was going to be beautiful and sunny out.
Yep.
It wasn't. So that's
boo. No.
Not Randy.
Beautiful sunny out. Oh. Like, for instance, number one, what the hell does that have to do with you in studio with a microphone and a camera?
Well, sir, his game got canceled for Saturday and moved to today. So I understand. Hey, yesterday, negative 10-degree wind chills in Chicago. Drunk Mike was all around downtown freezing. Today's it's 55 and sunny. So I feel you, Randy. It happens.
Sometimes. Well, anyway, Welcome to the threesome known as the touchdown crew today.
Oh, I didn't like that.
Well, of course you're not gonna like that, man. It's like a big circle thingy.
Oh.
Anywho,
Oh.
lots of moves made. Of course, we're on the Watson watch since now he's been not criminally charged. So everybody's paying attention to Watson. I'm over here thinking, why does Houston want to trade him anyway? Just start him, for crying out loud, which is why I said last year anyways, but everybody's saying just start him, but they didn't want to do that. So everybody's on the Watson watch. We got Philadelphia, who was interested. Now they're not. New Orleans, who miraculously vanished $80 million in cap debt, just like that. I mean, somebody needs to go ahead and get in contact with that financial institution and give me a call because I need to get rid of some debt too real quick. So we got that going on. Amari Cooper went to some place that has no quarterback whatsoever. Ask OBJ. So let's see how well you do there, Amari. Just a lot of moves were made. Boys, where do you want to start? I mean, there's a lot of things going on. What was the big blockbuster for you, Coach? What do you think is the big one over the course of the week?
I mean, of course, you always got to go Russell Wilson. I mean, that's one of the – you was thinking it. Everybody was saying it, but you didn't know if Seattle was really going to pull the trigger. You can go Chicago, Khalil Mack for what, a 5th, 6th round pick?
Shut up.
So, I mean, there's a lot.
Mike might have something to say about that. I'm just saying.
I want to talk about it.
I mean, we can go pretty much. Charles, you can start anywhere, man, and we're going to be there for a minute.
Well, let's talk about the big one. The big one that I think is Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Because we all knew something was going to happen. We all knew that, that we knew it last year. We thought he was going to be traded last year, but it never happened. They stuck with him. Now it's like, nothing got resolved. So he goes to the Denver Broncos. Out of all the teams that could have had Washington, the Commanders, or the Commandos, or whatever you want to call them, they had an opportunity. I think they said it was 3 first-round picks they're going to offer. They're going to throw Russell Wilson or throw Seattle.
Yeah, he didn't want to go.
Denver goes ahead and so let's break down the scenario. Is Denver that team that's a quarterback away from being a contender? And if so, do we say Denver's a contender? Mike?
I think they believe that. I think they think that.
Bring that mic. Bring that mic close to you, Mike.
I'm so sorry, sir, but I think they believe that. I think they think they're a quarterback away. I also remember the Chicago Bears of old thinking that they were a quarterback away, and then they got a quarterback, and it's like you won 5 games. Like in the reality of the situation is with Vic Fangio gone and Nathaniel Hackett being your head coach, which doesn't make any sense now that Aaron Rodgers is re-signing with Green Bay. Shout out, coach. But it comes down to it too. I really don't know. I don't know. I think they have a great core. I think, obviously Jerry Jeudy is an amazing talent. Javonte Williams is an amazing talent. I believe Gordon's still on contract. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. But, you still have Sutton. You still have Sutton and Patrick. And I think you have great things going on over there. Noah Fant, I didn't really see being a part of the deal. I felt like, he's really emerging himself as a good tight end. So I'm kind of questionable about that backup tight end they have that they just drafted a couple years ago. I forgot how to properly say his name. It's a lot of letters, in a lot of different orders. I'm hungover. I'm sorry, but I can't say his name, Charles, but it comes down to it too. Russell Wilson's great. And I've heard a lot of people say this is the greatest trade and the biggest trade in NFL history. And I think if this was like 5 years ago, I think it definitely would have been. But it's not that Russell's not great. I just think with Vic Fangio gone, Von Miller's gone, all these other cats are gone. I don't think that defense is going to be as good as people think it is.
Coach, do you think Russell Wilson makes all the difference in Denver? Again, Mike doesn't think so. I mean, he says a good core nucleus, but Denver's still going to struggle. What do you think?
No, I totally agree with him. I mean, I said it from the beginning. You don't know what Russell has left in the tank because one, he hadn't played last year. And then when he came back, he looked like crap. I mean, we can sit there, you can say O-line this and O-line that, but you don't really know. Like I'm with Mike. There's no pass rush. You have zero pass rush. You can't stop the run. Defensively, you don't have the tools to do anything. And then you go back and you look offensively, man, these guys got to stay healthy because that whole entire receiver corps went through injuries.
Yep.
So regardless of no matter who you had at quarterback, the receivers were still injured and everything else. I mean, it's a good group. You look at them, what they did in college, of course you're going to say, oh, these are good receivers. But I don't think one of them really just stood out to say, hey, they're top 10 in the AFC. We're just talking about the AFC alone as the receivers. But I think they'll win maybe 2 or 3 more games, possibility, fight for a playoff spot at the end. But you also got to realize, man, Russ is in a gauntlet. He went from a defensive conference to a quarterback conference.
Yeah, that's true. So, we had, Stafford in there last year. And then drop below. Who was the other one? Who's the other team? I'm so
Murray.
lost.
You talk about quarterbacks, Murray.
Yeah.
Murray for the Cardinals.
Yeah. Well, he was kind of in a quarterback conference as well. All right,
No,
now I know.
no,
Now I know.
no.
Listen. Now he is in with Patrick Mahomes.
Justin Herbert.
He's in there with Herbert, which he's making a name for himself now.
Derek Carr.
And then, Derek Carr remains to be seen, even though McDaniels says he's the starting QB. We'll see how far that goes.
He's gonna be the starter.
But it's like, Carr, I think, is no better. Is definitely not better than Stafford. And then you take, Mahomes is better than everybody, so you got that. But I think he's just going from one situation to another. It's just now it's. He's instead of playing in the Northwest, now he's playing in the mountains. That's all the difference. Now, he may have to get a couple of gasps of air. That's it. But I think the receiving core in Seattle, I think it was a little bit better, or at least he had more. He had more communication with them than is in Denver. So he's going to have to show a lot more. Question being though, and I'm not the expert at this, so I'm going to ask you gentlemen this: which O-line was better or is better? Is Seattle's better or Denver's better? Or is it
Denver by a mile?
Denver by a mile. Coach, same thing.
Denver, Denver has a running game. Seattle never could get a running game.
Right.
So,
and that's why I think Russ did look like shit for quite some time. We saw the same thing happen to Stafford and a bunch of other guys.
One-dimensional.
Yeah, one-dimensional, and obviously the coach's point, if you're playing like shit and you can't run the ball, you're going to look like shit. You can disguise playing horrible if you have a run game. And as a Bears fan, I know that very well. So it comes down to it, when Rashad Penny is your starting running back, you're not going anywhere. With Javonte Williams, you probably could disguise a lot.
Yeah, I don't think Seattle's been the same since Lynch, to be honest with you, for their running game.
No,
It's
not at all.
just ever since he left, it's like Chris Carson maybe gets injured, but I think that was the closest they had, and that's still going down a few notches a lot. So,
but I just truly believe Russell has to throw the football, and we have to really say, hey, Russ, are you as good as you say you are? Because if you go back and you look at Seattle, the times that they won, and they relied on their defense. When they won the Super Bowl, it was all about the defense.
Yep.
Now coming into this conference where you don't have a pass rush, your secondary is straight, it's legit. But you got to get to Pat Mahomes. You got to get. We can say what we want about Carr. You still got to get to him.
Yeah.
Because now he actually. Let's just be honest. He actually have a good offensive coordinator now.
Let's put it this way. Listen, the season just started, right? Like the 2022 season is officially on. It's ready. We're kicking it off. Now, all these moves being made, you honestly think that Denver's not going to go ahead and focus on the defense at all, whether it be free agency or draft they gave up so much for Wilson. Do they even have a draft left? This is almost like them trading for Ricky Williams like New Orleans did.
Right. I think there's a good shot Von Miller returns, though. I really do. And I think, it's simply because he spent his entire career there. He's won a Super Bowl there before. He understands that they have a blueprint of what to do. The big part of it was, what's changed since, 2015 was the fact that Peyton Manning's gone. And I know he wasn't a huge factor into winning that Super Bowl, or at least to getting to that Super Bowl, because everyone forgets how good Brock Osweiler was for 5 minutes. But it fell off very quickly. But it came down to it to where, that's what they've been missing all these years. So Russell Wilson is a Hall of Fame quarterback. And now that they have one, if I'm Von Miller and I already got a ring out of Los Angeles, I don't see why I wouldn't want to come back.
Yeah, but why would you, though? That's the thing. Number one, would they welcome him back? I think they would. But also at the same time, like, you're talking 2015, that's 7 years ago. A lot of stuff changes in 7 years. You're talking about Russell Wilson in 2015 now versus now. You see how far that's changed.
Right. I just think, when it comes down to the team that's kind of grown you into who you are, and they kind of left on really good terms, and he's kind of had that understanding of, hey, the window's always open to come back. Getting Russell Wilson, I think, not only opens that window, but it opens a completely different one that he can jump through, because that's a different conversation. It's not just coming back to come back. It's coming back to contend, or at least pretend to contend.
Let's talk about somebody else Coach, I'll give you that second. But Chandler Jones coming up as a free agent, somebody maybe Denver can think about going after.
I don't know if they can afford that.
Yeah. Coach, what would you go and say about Von? Go ahead.
I mean, we say that you signed Von, but let's just be honest. Von didn't really do too much when he was with them the last 2 years. And if you think about it, man, even with the Rams, he did just enough. But he's the third, fourth look.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think he was hooping, hollering about, hey, going to the Packers. I mean, not Packers. I'm sorry, going to the Broncos, just because he's trying to get that money with the Rams situation. Like, hey, y'all just need to hurry up. But I wouldn't get Von, my opinion, just to say, hey, you a Bronco for life. But I wouldn't get him because he doesn't give you that rush that you need.
Just to go ahead and go stat wise, because everybody's all about the numbers. Last year, combined with Denver and the Rams, he ended up getting 9.5 sacks, which for a normal outside linebacker, you think that's pretty decent. But this guy has averaged, we're talking 11.5, 18.5, 14, 11, 13, 10, 14. Those are seasons. His down year, he was injured. He only played half the year. He had 5 sacks in 9 games, 8 sacks in 15 games in 2019. Then he was out the whole year of 2020. So it's like 9.5 sacks. Is there still juice left there? Does he have again, we're talking about a 10-year career for an outside linebacker. This is not Tom Brady. He's not going to play 24 years or anything like that. Do you think he still has it?
It just depends. Like we went back, we said 2 weeks ago, Charles. Are you going for the money, or are you trying to win another Super Bowl? Like,
he's got 2 rings.
He has 2 rings, but the reality of it is, okay, are you trying to live a legacy? Because if he goes back to Denver, he's not going to get that many sacks. He stays with Los Angeles, he's going to get a lot of sacks because everybody's going to triple team that man in the middle, Mr. Aaron Donald, and he gets the one-on-one. Right. Now, when you go back, because like I said, you go look at that defense, man. Even Chubbs, you draft Chubbs in the first round. He hasn't consistently stayed to play. I don't even think he played a full season yet that I can think of.
Yeah.
So regardless of the situation, it's still only you rushing. Like you're really the only threat.
Yeah, you need some stability at defense. I think you need more people that can play defensively because apparently everybody gets banged up in Denver. I don't know what it is, if it's if they're 4-wheeling on the mountains or what, and it's just they're all that high. I don't know, but it's like Von Miller and the Rams. We've heard that the Rams are interested in keeping Von Miller and bringing him back.
Yeah,
so that's always a possibility. Again, Denver does have to focus on pass rush. They need to get people that can get to the quarterback because, like we all mentioned, got to get to Mahomes, got to get to Carr, got to get to Herbert. All these people can scramble. Mahomes, number 1, Herbert, number 2. Carr can scramble a little bit. He's a good pocket guy, but you got to get to him. You got to get to him, and all these teams have now proven that they have an offensive line. You got to go ahead and match up with them. Otherwise, you're going to be playing a lot of zone, a lot of don't give up the deep, give up the underneath stuff, and that doesn't win it anymore. The bend but don't break defense. That's because you're gonna break every once in a while.
Right.
It's never gonna happen where you're gonna keep everybody out of the end zone. You get inside the 10-yard line. Okay, better defense can better coverage will win you most of that, but you're gonna break every now and then. So
let me ask you this though. What do you think about Seattle? You think they got enough?
Seattle, no.
Think they should have got more?
I thought.
You talking about the trade?
Yeah.
Oh, they got enough to go ahead and do a whole complete rebuild. But here's the thing, though: is do you go ahead and rebuild that team? Are you in rebuild mode, or are you maybe Deshaun Watsing it and getting him over into Seattle and just pick up where you left off with Russell, except a younger quarterback?
I think they're in full rebuild because they have Tyler Lockett on the trade block too, and DK Metcalf's pissed off. They still have no run game. It's not work. What they already had wasn't working for him with Russell Wilson, so I don't see how anything would change with Deshaun. But for me, and this isn't like being biased, this is me being straight up. I think the Bears had a better offer for Russell Wilson over a year ago than what the Denver Broncos just gave him. Drew Lock and Noah Fant and some picks, which is cool. But the Bears offered Kyle Fuller. They offered Akeem Hicks, what would have been Justin Fields, and then a shit ton of first-round picks. And that first-round pick would have been a top-5 pick right now. So I look at it like that, and I look at it from the conversation of, what did you really get? And they still don't have a quarterback situation. They have a great pick this year now, but the problem is it's in a quarterback class that nobody really cares about, that nobody even wants to sniff to even have this conversation of drafting this guy in the first round. So you're kind of in the same predicament of, okay, you have Drew Lock and Geno Smith, and that's really it. If you would have had Justin Fields or Mac Jones or someone along those lines with that, whatever that Bears pick would have been, you would have had a conversation of, okay, we have this now. We have DK Metcalf. We have all these other individuals that are great. You have a defense now. You would have had Akeem Hicks and Kyle Fuller with Jamal and Bobby. Now you let go of Bobby Wagner. I mean, that defense looks awful too. So, I mean, you really have nothing going for you right now.
It really sounds like they are in rebuild mode. It just sounds like they're trying to pick up the pieces and find out what they want the future to be. And I'm over here worried too. It's like, maybe Pete Carroll doesn't want to do this. Maybe it's time for him to get out too. So we don't know. There could be a lot of things going on.
I think that's overdue.
I think a lot of it is they're just going back to their roots. Because when you realize you spent all this money on this quarterback and you didn't sniff the NFC Championship not one time once the defense got old. So now I kind of understand what they're doing. You take Bobby Wagner, you take Russell Wilson out of it, pretty much got rid of them. And now you have that money plus these draft picks where you can actually kind of retool. Like I said, one thing about it now, you can actually spend that money on O-linemen because O-linemen is going to be crazy expensive once free agent hits because everybody needs linemen. Because then you got Drew Lock. He's not good, but guess what? You just need him to be able to hand the ball off, run some play action, and then throw it to DK and Lockett. I think Lockett probably is going to stay because no one's going to really trade big for receivers because like we talked about last week, that receivers are getting to the point where they're about to start being like running backs. You're a dime a dozen because there's so many of us now. So, but I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of one of those things. Let's see how the free agent goes. Let's see how. Let's pretty much see how much. I don't even know how much money they have in the cap after the 2 cuts, but it's a lot.
I try to take a look at it. You see, talking about Seattle?
Yeah.
Yes, because if you look at it, man, we just be honest. Like they said, I mean, I think it's what if the quarterback only have like maybe 10 to 15% of the salary cap, they have a great chance of winning the Super Bowl. It's the ones that have the expensive salary caps, they never win one because you take all the money to get these guys and get people you need.
Right.
So they're just going. I mean, and I agree with you to a degree, Mike. But if you had Russ with the Bears, I mean, you would have been mad because guess what?
No, yeah, 100%. 100%. No,
and
like I think
they wouldn't have been because if you think about it, honestly, truthfully, they wouldn't have been the top 5. It would have been a top 5 draft pick.
No, without a doubt. Without a doubt, because he still would have got hurt, still would have had problems all year. It still would have been a horrible situation because Matt Nagy's awful. They wouldn't have been good whatsoever. I just meant like from the return package, I would take Justin Fields, a couple great defensive.
But how do you know? But that's the thing. Is one. Well, yeah.
By the way, Seattle estimated cap space is $40 million.
That's
You got a lot to play with.
That's
all right.
that's a lot. That's a lot.
You can put because I mean we talked about it earlier, man. When it comes with these like the cap 40 million, you could do a lot. You could trade, you can maneuver the money to say, hey, this year we're gonna give you this much, but we're gonna put it into a bonus.
Right.
Like
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right now, the person that's the highest right now in Seattle,
Jamal.
Puna Ford. $10 million. That's a cap hit. Lockett is number 2 at just under that. Puna Ford is $10,075,000. Lockett's $10,050,000, according to SportTrack.
I think you got to move that Jamal Adams contract though. I think you got to get that out of there.
He's got $9 million, but he's also $30 million in dead cap.
That guy don't do shit. I mean, I love safeties. I love watching safeties, and Jamal's always been one of those guys that I hate watching because it's like I'm literally watching a linebacker play safety, and this guy is getting paid safety money.
But who does he remind you of? If you look at Seattle,
you know what he reminds me of, Coach, and it kind of comes out of left field with this one. He reminds me a lot of Brian Urlacher in a sense. And I say that because Brian played safety, Brian played linebacker, and the only difference is it's the roles are reversed. He's fast like Brian, except he's just playing the safety position. He's not as big, he's not as bulky, but he's a straight up dude when it comes to just getting hits. But that guy can't catch a football to save his life.
You don't have to, but who does he remind you of when you think of Legion of Boom?
Oh yeah, but I mean,
because that's what he did. Yeah. That sucker didn't cover nobody.
Chandler and all them, right? But I mean, I think again, like to Charles's point though, it's a different league now. You know what I mean? Like, what we saw in 2015 is very different from what we're seeing now, and that's really what it's going to come down to is these wide receivers, Jamar Chase and all these other cats that are coming out of college, like they're going to burn this dude. And that's just the reality of it. They're going to burn him. They're not even going to give him a chance to touch him. Jamar's 40 yards away by the time Jamal even gets off the snap. But to me, what Charles kind of said was, having Tyler Lockett on that cap with 10 million, I don't think, after what we saw with Khalil Mack and after what we saw with Amari Cooper, you might not have to pay for this guy. You might, if they want him gone just to clear cap space, we saw Amari Cooper just go for what, a 5th and a 6th round pick? They might not have to give up anything.
No, that's what I said. It's the receivers is at the point now you are a dime a dozen because they're like even this year they're everybody's hooping and hollering saying this is a good receiving class in the
next
draft.
Next year's very good.
But you see what I'm saying? So it's like you're not finna start paying. The money is finna start going down. Right. But it's the fact of the matter because you can just you can add anybody for a cheaper deal. So like one thing about it is Lockett, man, what Lockett does, he's a vertical threat, but he's no different from that guy that just ran a 4.2.
Right.
And is younger. I can get him for $3 or $4 million.
Right.
In the 5th, 6th round. I mean, I think that's the thing that a lot of people starting to realize, like, hey, we don't have to have superstars. But also you gotta realize something too, though, why Seattle got him. Goddamn, I can't think of the Adams. Look who you play against. You play against the Rams. What they do? Run the ball. You play the 49ers, Debo Sanders, run the ball. So I think those are the reasons why they pretty much.
I think the Rams and the Cardinals, I think they're more throwing than anything. They're more deep threats than anything right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll still go ahead and have the running game in, but if you take a look at it realistically, and this includes Trey Lance starting in San Francisco. San Francisco is the running game. Arizona and Los Angeles Rams is the freaking the passing game.
Right.
That's what we truly believe.
Yeah, I think especially when you see Woods come back, I think and obviously Odell, it's really going to turn into a pass heavy offense. You're going to have Cam Akers doing his thing or whatever running backs they want to run with, but obviously, you have Cooper Kupp, you have Higbee, you have Woods, you have Odell, you have Jefferson, you have a lot of guys that you could play with, and I don't think McVay's gonna, if McVay's even back, I think he is, but he's back. I hate that's my one.
How the hell you gonna win a Super Bowl and then say and call it quits? You want to run that back.
No, yeah, but that was my thing. Sean McVay, I tell Coach all the time, he's my favorite coach in the league. He has been for quite some time. But that was my only knock is I didn't like the way he kind of approached that. Even while they were winning the Super Bowl, he was like, I don't know, like I'll think about it. Like that's a bad look, bro. Like just you're coming
it
back.
makes you more desirable, man. You're playing a chess match. It's like you're over there telling the ownership, winning a Super Bowl is all that, but you know what? Maybe I want to take my skills to the golf course and spend time. I don't know. That's just like, show me the love. Show me that you want me. Go ahead, you gotta unmute your mic, man. But
I
yeah,
didn't even know how to mute. But he's one of those McVay's. He's that new school coach. He
Right.
doesn't want to coach to 60, 70 years.
Right.
Like he doesn't.
He's got such a long way to go before he gets to that point.
But
35.
But the thing about what we have to realize is he's gonna get married, man. He's about to start. He's trying to make babies. Like he's trying to start his family. He's one of them guys, and a lot of these new coaches, you're not trying to do what these old heads do, where you stay all day in the office and you look at film and you do this and you do that. Like I said, he got his Super Bowl ring now. Like he has his Super Bowl ring, so he's chilling. And
so, Coach, wait a second. I'm going to stop you right there because right here, you talked about, are you in it for a ring or the money?
Both.
Sean McVay turned down $100 million from Amazon to stay with the Rams.
He's gonna make more.
I think he's in it for the ring.
He's gonna make more. I think that's the thing, though. He knows when he's done. Like when he's getting married this summer. When his wife pops the baby, eventually, he's gonna get to the point where he's gonna flip it over. He's gonna go to the Amazon or to ABC, NBC, or ESPN, and he's gonna make that money doing that.
Right.
Because he'll make a whole bunch of money doing that. And guess what? All you got to do is 2 days out of the week.
And over here, McVay's over here trying to follow Brady and marrying models here. Model from Ukraine, for that matter.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously, listen, I don't know, man. I don't know what McVay's planning on doing, but you want to pop a baby in that model, there goes the model figure. So do you want to really do that? I don't know. But if he wants to marry, that's fine. That's fine.
Bad Charles.
What?
Time out, Charles.
Listen. Okay, number one. If you're listen, let's look at let's look at Giselle.
Bad Charles.
No.
Hey, back to football. Let's go. Back to football. Hey, let's go. We can go. We can talk about the Bears. We can talk about the Colts. Shoot, we can talk about the Falcons. We can talk about the Cowboys.
Subject change. Right?
Yeah.
Subject change. All right.
I'm not trying to have a meeting about this
All right. Amari Cooper to the Browns.
Yeah, don't talk about the Bears. Let's get going.
Seriously? Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the Bears. Don't worry.
Cool.
Here. We're still talking about the Bears. As a matter of fact, we're saving the best for last. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah, we're gonna save the best for last. That Mac trade was a McDonald's trade. That's what I'm saying. Amari Cooper to the Browns. Does this do anything for Amari? I mean, anything for his game, or is he just like, is he getting paid? I mean, it's a trade. It's a straight up trade. But are the Browns going to go ahead and throw money at him later? Is that what the deal is? Because I don't see any benefit of him going there.
Oh, he got his money. The issue is
why go to Cleveland? Why?
It's not his choice. The Cowboys did it. But guess what? That's where he's gonna go to die. He's gonna because if you look at Cleveland, one or two things. You ain't gonna get the ball, and he's really gonna be injured because any receiver 9 times out of 10 that went there, either you hurt or you just running routes for nothing. Because
he was hurt before he even got there.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
So Cleveland is the place where all good receivers go to die, just like Chicago is where all quarterbacks go to die.
No, I think they're dead before they even get there. I don't think we've ever really had somebody that was great.
Yeah.
And this was so crazy when you look at it. It has to be the salary. It has to be his salary, because you mean to tell me Baltimore wouldn't give him a 4th rounder,
right,
for Cooper? Like a 4th. We're not even. They gave up.
Why not go to Jacksonville?
They gave a 5 and a 6.
That's That's because Jacksonville was not going to pay that salary cap.
Jacksonville's got a lot of money to play with. They want to get young.
They're not.
Murray ain't that old. You got listen. You can't be.
He's not
average age of 23 running around in Jacksonville hooping and hollering. You're gonna have to get some senior leadership in there.
Charles, I agree with you, but here's the issue: $20 million a year. You better be playing 16 games at minimum. He hasn't. I can't tell you the last time he played 16 games. Then you had the COVID incident. Then you had the injury, your ankle, your hip. Like Mars, don't get me wrong. I don't. Are
you saying he's damaged goods? Is that what you're saying?
He's not worth $20 million a year. Just what's the fact of the matter, because he can't get on the field. But his knowledge of the game, his route running, his work ethic, those are perfect. His hands, everything is good about the guy. If he's healthy, he's a top 10 at max. You could argue top 5 if you want to. I mean, depending on the year. He just can't stay healthy, man.
Right. I think, Coach, you kind of hit on that too. Not to cut you short, but it was like with you always predicated it on his cuts, his route running, his ability to be able to make those drives. And I feel like that's a problem when you have these lingering ankle injuries for several years now, is he can't make these cuts the way he wants to without being cautious. And I feel like you could see that on the field, and you could see that during practices. You know, he's teaching CeeDee Lamb, hey, here's what I used to do. And he says that, here's what I used to do. The reason he's saying used to past tense is because you cannot do that anymore. And it's causing issues. So $20 million a year for a guy that's having a problem hitting a slant or a curl route, I would be very skeptical as well. And if I was Jacksonville, Charles, I would rather reunite with Allen Robinson before I got Amari Cooper.
Got to bring your Bears involved. Allen Robinson's going to New England, just like every other receiver is going to New England, because that's all they talk about is.
He's linked. I brought something up.
DK is linked to New England. Allen Robinson's linked to New England. Calvin Ridley linked to New England. Don't even get me started on that. Oh my word!
Calvin Ridley ain't going nowhere.
Listen, he was anyway. But I'm just saying. Okay, back to Amari. So are you saying? Let's put it this way. Is Dallas in trouble for trading Amari, or is that good that they got that cap off?
I think it's a problem they need to address, that they only have really CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. I think Michael Gallup re-signed.
He's a free agent.
He's a free agent. He hasn't signed yet. I know they're very close, but very close does not mean anything until that kid puts ink to pen and paper. Like that's really what it's gonna come down to. But
he's gonna be out.
Yeah, he's gonna be out quite some time. I would say
November, December.
Yeah, first half of the season for sure. Maybe going into a little bit of the second half, but because it happened late, and that was the problem with this wide receiver core that I was talking about. Is next year, Coach, when the Bears have over $150 million in cap, and you have DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, AJ Brown, Chris Godwin, and a bunch of other guys as free agents. Hopefully, relatively, they'll all be healthy. Right now, Odell. Chris Godwin, Michael Gallup, DJ Chark, all these guys are injured. Even Allen Robinson was banged up. All these guys tore their ACLs. All these guys blew it out. And the one guy that's actually healthy is Antonio Brown. And mentally, I don't know how healthy that man truly is either. So it comes down to it to where if I was Dallas, I would try drafting somebody. I think this wide receiver class is very deep. I'm really excited to see what they could do with that. There's this kid, Treylon Burks, out of Arkansas, that I think he looks just like Deebo Samuel and DK Metcalf in one. Like, this kid's huge, but he can run, he can catch, he can do everything. But I think they definitely need to address that problem, because if Gallup doesn't come back, if obviously Cooper's gone, CeeDee Lamb's going to get doubled a lot.
Yeah, so so Dallas has got their issues on receiver. Obviously, Cleveland doesn't really have issues on receiver. They have issues with quarterback and their scheme.
Yeah,
honestly, and I think, like Coach says, that he's just going to go there to die.
Now, what if it works?
It won't.
But what if it does?
You know why it won't? Because when you got a guy like Cooper is on routes, so everything has to deal with timing. Baker Mayfield is terrible at his timing.
Right.
He's a gunslinger.
Yeah. So when you have a guy that has timing versus a guy that just like to chunk it up and everything else, that makes it's a problem. Because if you look, Odell Beckham, that was just straight speed.
Right.
Then Jarvis is more timing because Jarvis is slow. I mean, he runs a 4.7, 4.8, 40. Right. So all his is just pretty much routes. And he didn't do anything productive.
And Jarvis is getting up there in years too.
But that's what I'm saying. So it won't work out for them. Now, even if you go back and you look at the Cowboys better run the ball 30, 40 times a game. Because if you think you finna just sit here and you're going to throw it 40 times with that, they're going to be in trouble. Because regardless of the situation, Amari Cooper is the one that Amari Cooper and Gallup keep the safeties over the top so you can have CeeDee Lamb, which plays the slot. He can control the middle of the field. Now, once you take one of them out and CeeDee Lamb has to go to the outside, he's not as good as he is. He's going to be really, really exposed because, again, when he was in Oklahoma, he just played a lot off of Murray. Murray runs around and pretty much just chunk it up.
Talking about Carr?
Huh?
Talking about Carr?
No. When they was in college, Oklahoma.
Oh, when they was in college. My bad.
Yeah. So Cowboys are really they must have used this two-headed monster in the backfield because the line is getting banged up. They can't block. You talking about pass? They just terrible.
Do you think Dak Prescott actually starts all 17 games this year? Or is he's injured before the season even starts?
Probably not, but we'll see what happens.
He'll start because Charles, they have to run the ball. You talking about,
and that's the problem is they have to run the ball, so everybody's going to load up on the box because they don't have any outside. They don't have any real outside threats. To be honest with you, Gallup can go ahead and run, but I'm just saying it's like you'll have a man on man and somebody covering over the top, but that's it.
But that was the thing why Gallup got his over the top because it was I got to keep a safety in the middle of the field because you got CeeDee Lamb at the slot, and then I got to keep a safety over Amari Cooper. So Gallup 8. Now once you take Amari Cooper out, now you got
there's no more protection.
I can't even think of his name. Either you're gonna move CeeDee Lamb to the outside, or you're gonna put
the
rookie, which he wasn't bad. He was straight, but he's a slot guy. He's not an outside guy.
Right. But how good really was he when all these other great wide receivers are also there? When it's just him one-on-one, I'm curious to see how he looks under the pressure.
But you can switch. That's what I'm saying. You can roll your defense now.
Right.
So, and then now you look at Cleveland. You got Cooper, but you finna tell CeeDee Lamb, hey, you can shop for a trade. So
see, I don't understand. It's like Cleveland doesn't learn their lesson. It's like you had Odell Beckham. You couldn't make that work. Are you kidding me? If you don't think you can make Odell work, you really think you're going to make Amari Cooper work? I mean, and once they find out this fails, then they're going to look at, man, what kind of quarterback do we have? And they should have been looking at that to begin with. They put so much trust into Baker and whatever system they're running. They are stubborn as all. They're more stubborn than I am.
Do you guys think now the salaries are actually very similar? Do you think they might be in on Deshaun Watson?
No.
I mean,
no.
All right. Let's put it this way. Let's fantasize.
If they trade Baker and picks, they could get.
Let's fantasize about this. Deshaun Watson to Cleveland for Baker, straight up.
Not straight up.
All right, not straight up, but just say they end up going. Stop shaking your head, coach. Deal with my fantasy.
I'm like my little niece, man.
Deal with my fantasy. Smack that head.
No.
But Baker ends up in Houston. Deshaun ends up in Cleveland. Does Cleveland finally get the quarterback they need?
Yeah.
Or are they still stubborn?
I think they're straight.
If that's the case, you wouldn't trade Landry or look for a trade for Landry.
Listen, I'm not saying it makes any sense.
I agree with you, but the reality of it is, I know for a fact, Lovie Smith is not finna ride and die with Baker Mayfield.
I don't think he's gonna ride or die with Mills, though.
Yeah, I'm just.
Hey, he rode and died with Jay Cutler. I would ride or die with Baker before I rode with Jay any longer.
I'm just saying, Houston's in the bad way right now. Honestly, I don't know what the deal really is anymore for not starting Deshaun. Why just give him back the starting job?
Well, it was two reasons. One of them, you didn't want to start him is because you didn't want him to get hurt. Because you look like you saw what Stafford got in draft picks. Now you see what Russ got in draft picks. So you're like, man, this is.
You sit him for the whole year?
Yeah.
I mean, well, not Charles.
Hello, Rust.
What people forget though is that Watson didn't want to play anyways. Like before the allegations and everything, Watson said he was out and that he probably played his final game with the team. And he was he wasn't acting a fool, but he was showing everybody that he did not want to be there. He was coming to practices late. He was not participating with the team. He was not in team meetings. He did not care. And I don't blame him whatsoever because they've had 3 head coaches since that incident. So it really does come down to it Deshaun was the first one that wanted out.
But doesn't that put a cloud over your actual value now? It's like, okay, well, you're not a team player, so what the hell we want from you?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think Odell did the same shit.
Because one thing, he's a great player. So once he get on the field, no one's gonna worry about that. Right. Once he start playing, which you got to realize with Deshaun. I mean, come on, Charles. You trade your best receiver for a running back.
We're not going there. Listen, the game has changed a few years ago.
I know, but you look what you did. Like you was just getting rid of guys.
And then you let JJ Watt leave. You didn't get anything from JJ. You let JJ leave. You didn't get a single thing.
They're just horrible at their GM spot. It's all horrible.
Yeah.
Anthony's over here saying I can see the Eagles are going after Watson. They have the most. Listen, number one, the Eagles already pulled out. They pulled out. They're like a responsible brother and pulled out before going in. So they went ahead and pulled out of the Watson deal. So they're not.
I wouldn't have went. You made the playoffs with the Eagles. I mean, if you think about since we're talking about the Eagles is probably they're quick. They're probably number one in NFC East right now because of what happened with Dallas.
Wait a second. So you mean to tell me Carson Wentz to the Commanders is not going to get him over the top?
No.
That
where the hell is Randy when we need him?
You saw the defense? Go. Next topic, Charles. Next topic. I'm not going to get on the NFC.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
4 years. Playing until he's 42, apparently.
I like it.
4 years. Not one. $200 million. Discuss.
I love it. I think it's great.
Why?
I'm excited.
Why?
I'm excited. Well, one, I love it
because you're a Bear fan. You're sick. You're sick.
I love it because Jordan Love is sitting there right now and he's on suicide watch, confirmed, because that man is upset. That man is terrified and he just probably no longer wants to be there. The worst first round pick I've seen in a very long time. And I took Mitchell Trubisky number 2. So
saying that's
with that, but it is because they could have had Claypool. They could have had all these other individuals that helped Rodgers get a championship. Instead, you took his successor, who's no longer succeeding anything. He could succeed these nuts, and that's what it comes down to. But at age 42, Rodgers, however friendly this deal is going to be making $50 million, and that makes me smile. And then, Coach,
I know what it is. You're looking 4 years down the road, and you see Rodgers not making it to 42. He retires before then, and
I hope he plays.
Eating cap.
I hope he plays. I hope in any way, I know they're going to pay it. And that's what makes me smile is because, Coach, right now, to me, obviously, my team has shown we don't give a shit about this year or next. We're cool.
A year after that.
I got no problem with it. Now, 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line, it's a conversation. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they build. Until then, I'm not going to speak on it. But, Coach, I'm going to tell you this right now. This man went on Twitter after Green Bay flexed to the world that it was a 4-year, $200 million deal. And this man goes, don't believe everything you read. I love that because even though they paid him, he's still talking crap. He's still saying, I'll retire at any point in time. He's still saying, if I don't like this, I'm gone and no one can stop me. And you're going to have to pay him now. It's not like, oh, okay, it was just a 1-year deal. It's cool.
No, 156 million is guaranteed. I mean, it's almost all of it's guaranteed.
Right, pretty much.
And that's where Rodgers say, listen, yeah, 50 million per year is okay.
Yeah.
I want all of this. Here's 40 million you can keep and buy some Kool-Aid. But I want to keep that 150 something, $160 million. I want that guaranteed. Put it in my bank now.
Right. So I'm cool with it. because at the end of the day, I wouldn't have said nothing, Coach.
No more State Farm commercials.
If he didn't make that tweet, if he didn't make that tweet, I would have been like, man, this is Rodgers is happy, Rodgers is satisfied, everything's cool now. It's not, because right after the deal got done, he made a tweet that said, "I'll still retire at any point." That's toxic. That's horrible. And if I was Green Bay, I would immediately regret giving him that deal if he said that.
Go ahead, Coach. What are your thoughts on the highest paid quarterback ever, or a highest paid player ever?
Are y'all surprised? You knew that was
I am a little bit because it's like, why would you go ahead and pay that much for that amount of time?
He said that though. He said it. He came out and he said, "I want to be the highest paid player." Like, it's not. So guess what? Either Green Bay was going to do it, or Denver was going to do it.
Right.
Do you think Denver was going to do it? Do you think Denver had the cap to do it?
Yeah,
Denver
was going to do whatever they had to do it.
Yes. I mean, so the reality of it is, I wasn't shocked. I knew that was going to happen. Aaron Rodgers, I've said from the beginning, said to the end, he is a spoiled brat. And he's the guy, he gets what he wants because the simple fact of the matter, Green Bay, they live and die with Aaron Rodgers. And you have to pay him because guess what? He's a 2-time MVP. 2-time repeat, huh?
Yeah, he's like a 4- or 5-time, but
he's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's a 4-time, but he's a back-to-back MVP of the league.
Yeah.
So
it's not like his skills are diminishing. As a matter of fact, I think,
I think there were spurts of it where you saw Aaron Rodgers kind of changing, but it comes down to it to where his raw talent and the way he understands the game kind of diminishes that. But you do see, why does he not throw interceptions is because he doesn't throw balls in the window. He does not throw to guys being double teamed. Devontae Adams
is a game manager.
Yeah, he's not, and that's a big part of it. But he didn't used to be like that. He used to just gunsling it, and he didn't give a shit. And now you're starting to see a very different Aaron. And honestly, I think this version of Aaron is scarier than the original Aaron is because he understands not to force passes.
But you know something? I'm great that he's an MVP. I'm great that he's winning awards, that he's, doesn't turn the ball over. He also doesn't win rings.
Nope. But that goes back to when
fine.
No offense, Mike, because when you play the NFC North, where you he owns, like he said, I own the Bears.
He does.
And when you say you play the Lions, and then you don't know what team you're gonna get with the Vikings.
No.
So it's kind of like, of course he looks good. But when he gets in the playoffs, like I said last year, I said he's gonna go second round best because those are the teams. Now you're talking about you playing the playoffs teams, especially we can all honestly say in NFC, you're gonna run the football and they're gonna play defense. They're gonna play defense in the NFC. No matter what it is, you look at the teams that made it, they play defense, or they have a pass rush, or they have this.
My team plays defense. We don't play offense.
Well, that's a whole nother story. But I think that's the thing about Aaron Rodgers, man. Aaron Rodgers don't care about no championships. He don't care about that. He's just trying to get this money.
Right.
And then go be a game show host when he retired.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, that's Aaron. Like you said, spoiled little kid, wants to cry. Where's my money? Where's my money? Well, hey, you got your money.
So wait, before we leave, because I don't see a lot of people talking about this. What happens to Jordan? Do you see Jordan Love? Do you see Jordan Love going to Pittsburgh? Do you see him going somewhere else?
No, I actually see Jimmy G going to Pittsburgh. I see Jimmy going there.
So you think Jordan Love, a first-round pick, is just going to sit for 6 years?
Yep.
Who, me?
No, just in general, just everybody.
I don't know. I think that's the thing. I think he's gonna. I see him at going like Pittsburgh or someone because you got to look. I really truly don't think the Green Bay Packers is going to trade him to Seattle or somewhere there. So therefore, he has to go to the AFC, and the only AFC team that really needs a quarterback is Pittsburgh.
Right.
Oh, you say the Colts, but I don't want to see. Oh Lord, please don't have Jimmy go to Pittsburgh. He can't throw.
I think they need to draft. I like Malik out of the draft. I forget his last name, but I like Malik as a quarterback. But I think they need to invest in an offensive line before anything because paying Jimmy isn't going to mean shit if Jimmy's not getting protected.
Who?
Jimmy, what are you talking about, Jimmy getting protected? Hey, listen, when you go ahead and do this, hike, and then you turn around and you hand the ball to the guy in back there, he doesn't need protection.
I think that's why I say he fits the mode of the coach.
Indianapolis, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why I'm saying.
That's why I say he can't go to Pittsburgh. Lord, don't go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, don't go. Like you're not. It's not going to go down the way he thinks it is.
Tell me, don't get Jimmy. Honestly, truthfully, I rather Pittsburgh get Jordan Love. I don't really like a lot of people knock Jordan Love.
See, the thing is, nobody is talking about Love. Nobody's talking about Jordan Love. He's going to come to this team or that team. Green Bay's not even talking about Jordan Love. That's how insignificant he is. But hey, Jordan, what we're going to do is we're going to take your salary and give it to Aaron Rodgers. That's what we're going to do. You just sit there, get him water, get him Gatorade, make sure you wash his jockstrap appropriately with Tide. Don't eat the Tide Pods and just show up every Sunday. That's it. They don't care about him. They invested a pick in Jordan Love thinking he was all that. He's not. And now it's like you signed this guy.
I wouldn't say he's not, though.
I'm just saying he's not.
I don't know.
He came in and played one game to basically set the record straight if he's any good or not, and he wasn't.
See, but that's the common misconception, though, is you gave a kid one game. You didn't give him any training camp. You didn't give him anything.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Hold on. Let me tell you this. If they didn't have if they had faith in Jordan Love, if they had any faith in him, you're really going to throw $200 million at a quarterback who's
Charles.
Good.
Charles, first off, the whole game with Jordan Love, he didn't even practice the whole week. Like the Aaron Rodgers thing happened on a Wednesday.
Right.
So he technically only had 1 day of practice and a walk.
Thursday and a Friday.
Yeah, and it was a walk. Usually you do walkthroughs on Fridays. Now you got to say what you said. He's a 2-time MVP. Like
back to back.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I keep saying 2-time. He's a back-to-back MVP.
4-time MVP.
They're gonna you're gonna give him that money just for the simple fact of the matter. He is considered the best player 2 years in a row. Regardless of how we look at it, no matter how we say it, the NFL has said that. So you look at it as, okay, I know what I got. I got a 2-time MVP. He runs my system. He understands it. I got his best buddy back, Devontae Adams. And Jordan Love, he's not a 2-time MVP.
Thank you. They have no trust whatsoever in Love.
I agree with you.
I wouldn't say it's not trust, though.
If it was me, honestly, truthfully, Charles,
Mike, if you don't call it trust, what do you call it?
What I called it was an incentive.
No faith.
Not at all.
No, Charles.
What you're saying, Charles, really quick, Coach. What you're saying is this: Tom Brady or Mac Jones?
Oh, Tom Brady, of course.
Oh, right. But is Mac Jones still a good quarterback?
He is.
Right.
He will be.
So right.
Hey, Charles,
they don't have time for will be. They need to win now.
Mike, you can flip it even more. Tom Brady or Jimmy Garoppolo? Who would you have traded?
Exactly.
You saw what they.
Wait a second. Hold on. I'm over here thinking because when Jimmy filled in for Tom, even though he got injured.
Say it again.
Hold on.
He got injured.
He got injured in the third game, halfway through. But for that time he was throwing the ball, he looked good.
He did look good.
You know why?
Guess what?
Really good.
You know why he looked good? You know why he looked good, Charles?
System, I know.
No, it's not because of the system. That's because he knew game 1 that he was going to start. He knew game 2 that he was going to start. He knew game 3 he would have started. He knew game 4 he was going to start. So guess what happened to Tom Brady? I don't even think Tom Brady couldn't even go to the facilities. So therefore, he knew right then he had 4 weeks of that with nobody have any game feel on him. Come on, of course he's gonna look good. But then guess what? What happened? They shipped him to San Francisco, and what has San Francisco done? They done everything to win except with Jimmy. Because Jimmy does just a little. He did just a little. He could use a little bit. But again, like I was saying earlier, if I was Green Bay, I would have traded Rodgers and got them draft picks, and I would have loaded up a squad right around Jordan Love.
100%.
My opinion.
100%.
But I agree. But you always got to look at it.
You don't go wrong either way because of what Aaron Rodgers has been doing. That's just me. Like you don't.
Cause what they say, the grass is not always green on the other side.
Right.
You keep what you got.
Right.
So all right, you got your quarterback locked up for 4 years unless Rodgers goes ahead and ups and says, F you. This is I'm out of here. What do you do with Jordan Love?
That's what I'm saying. Is like I think you
Do
have
you
to get
bench him?
something. You have to get something because you got a first round pick though. Like you use that first round pick on Jordan Love. Right now, you're not getting a first round back. You're not even getting a fourth.
But you
fair enough. But do you think you can get maybe like a second or third rate receiver for him?
I think no. They don't need a receiver. It's not
right now. Who does Green Bay need right now? Like out of everything, if you would have, you're the GM of the Green Bay Packers. I got Jordan Love. He does not want to be here. We want to trade him. What do we want to see if we can get for him? It may not be an A quality lister.
If you're going to trade Jordan Love, you see their alignment. Because if you look at the defense played well in the playoffs. Right. The receivers played well. Aaron Rodgers didn't play well.
Anybody injury prone that maybe we could use a backup with.
Right. Maybe the secondary.
Okay. So would it be wise if you're a Green Bay GM, take Jordan Love, shop him around for a safety or a cornerback?
No, I think they're set with Savage and all of those guys. I like Adrian Amos. I think they're pretty good. What I think they need, and it's very underrated, is Robert Tonyan is going to be a free agent. He tore his ACL as well. I felt like that was a big factor. If they don't have a tight end in that game, they don't have a single person that you could name in that tight end group right now that you could say, okay, this guy's the tight end of the future. I think you need to kind of address that because, Vanderlesh and Cobb are great for what they are.
Gronk's in free agency.
Right. But I've heard Gronk to Cincinnati.
Why not go ahead and catch passes from the other number 12 in the league? Come on.
He's not fun. He's not fun. Aaron Rodgers. No one likes Aaron Rodgers.
It is cold.
Gronk is there for fun and partying. Wisconsin and Aaron Rodgers is the complete opposite of that. Listen, Gronk wants to go to public school. That is a charter all boys school. That is not. No one wants to be there. No one. Prom is going to be weird.
Gronk needs to go to LA, man. I don't care.
I heard he wants to go to Cincy. That's just what I'm hearing.
He's just as boring.
It's just as boring, but those guys
but you got to realize who's the quarterback.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's cool, man.
When you look at Gronk can deal with everything because he had Brady.
But if you take a look at that, take Gronk. Why not go back to New England? You got a young Mac Jones. He wants to party.
You know why? Charles? Because you tried to trade him to the damn Detroit Lions, and that's why he ain't going back.
Oh, yeah, you got a point there. Yeah, I ain't going to
Detroit. If you tried to send me to Detroit, bro, I'd never answer another one of your phone calls ever again.
And he don't like Bill. He don't like Bill.
Anthony says Rodgers won't last 4 years. Packers going to ask him to rework his contract in 2 or then be traded or retire.
Anthony, I'm going to need you to change that profile to Carson Wentz.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I agree with Anthony.
Okay. So Jordan Love basically he's riding the pine pretty much.
I feel horrible for him. Yeah, I think it's really unfortunate to have to.
If you're in Jordan's shoes, you contact your
100%. I'm leaving. I'm going to my agent. 100%.
Wait.
Nah.
You just wait.
Because think about it like this, Coach. Charles, this will be my last thing about Jordan Love, but when you look at his contract right now, let's say he signs, he's already 2 years in. So he's going to do probably a 2-year extension if he were to stay in Green Bay to max out that 6-year thing with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be sitting for 6 years.
No.
Backup. He's not going to make any money.
The thing is, though, he's making money because he's a first-round draft pick. So he's not making big
money. He's got money right now, but
that next Mahomes money. He's not making Mahomes money or Stafford money.
That's the thing. That's the thing. What you got to realize, he sits and you wait. And I say wait because guess what? We all know. We said it earlier. Everybody's going to reach in the draft for a quarterback. Somebody's going to reach because they always do for a quarterback.
All right.
You look at Seattle and their situation. You look at the Colts situation.
Pittsburgh.
Those are great opportunities where he can slide in and they throw something because it's gonna be a need.
Right.
It's gonna be a need eventually. Like
Right.
so for him, have a great spring or have great summer workouts. Have a great summer. Do preseason. Like if I was his agent, hey man, ball out.
No,
Ball
I'm
out.
out of
How?
there.
You're not going to get any looks.
I'm out of there. I'm out of there,
Preseason,
bro.
you got the whole preseason because regardless of the situation, that's the thing. We keep saying, "Well, I'm out." You got to get film. Once you get film, because
Right.
regardless, even if once you get out, you still making the same. You still gonna make like $2 or $3 million.
No, right, but that's my point. Is once you're out, you can be a starter somewhere. You can go perform somewhere. You're gonna have that ability to take a chance. You can go to New Orleans. You can go to Pittsburgh. You can go to Seattle. You can go. He's starting over Drew Lock 100%. I don't care what anybody says. If he went to Seattle, he's starting over Drew Lock. Drew Lock is awful, but it comes down to it. That I just think what your contract is going to be if you stay through 2026, whatever that contract is with Rodgers. It's going to come down to that contract that you're going to get. One, you're going to have to play a few years as the starter in Green Bay. You're already 6 years into the league. You're going to be 9 years by the time you get into a deal that you can actually make some money. And what if that doesn't work out? So for me, I'd want to get out as quick as possible to show some tape, like you said, to be able to start somewhere. So by the time my rookie contract's over, I'm getting paid because that contract's not going to last forever.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If I was Jordan Love and I'm getting taken in the draft, all right, I'm expected to play because they're going to move on from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to retire.
Right. Like, why did you even
play into his 40s? Let me play. I'm not getting drafted into the NFL to sit my ass on the bench and hold a clipboard.
Right. You know what though, Charles? I'll do that, but not in the first round. I'm not getting drafted in the first round to sit for 6 years.
You want to go ahead and have a quarterback, take in the 6th round, pick number 199. You go ahead and take that type of pick. You're sitting on the bench for 3-4 years, possibly maybe even your whole career. You're a career backup to somebody. Right. But like you said, not a first round. Ryan Leaf, when he went number 1 pick, I don't even think he sat the bench. He just like, screw this, I'm out of here.
Right.
But sitting here looking at it, man, they probably won't trade him. Probably to next year because
probably not.
He's $8 million dead cap.
Yeah, they can't afford that. That's no way. But
it's
going to happen before the contract.
He'll probably, like I say, he'll go ahead and back up, with a angry dead eyes to everybody that's watching him. It's like, all right, we'll watch what happens next year. So I just like you said, man, I feel bad for him because it's like you're drafted in the first round. You're expected to go ahead. You're being the next incumbent. To the you're following Aaron Rodgers out after he leaves. I apologize, guys. So you're supposed to be the next guy in place. Now we're gonna go ahead and make Aaron Rodgers the highest paid quarterback ever. 4 more years. That means it's like Aaron Rodgers, the president. 4 more years. 4 more years. Now you're waiting. You're vice president. You don't ever see the field except for here. Go ahead, Jordan. Go play preseason. Go ahead. Run. Wee. That doesn't do anything to anybody.
Right.
Except, you know what? It may show your value, but it's preseason.
And it's so bad to the point where they've even cut a game of preseason. So now it's only 3 games.
Exactly.
The last one is really kind of just walkthroughs.
Yeah. It's
like 2.
Yeah. It really is. It really is. And it's like, Jordan he could have started 4 games this year.
Right.
But no, they had to cut one of them. So anyway, I just feel bad for Jordan Love. I think he needs to get the hell out of there. I don't know where he would go or how he would go, but $8 million didn't dead cap. I'm sure they're not looking to move him.
Chicago take him, sir.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. They'll take any quarterback. I mean, Jordan's already on suicide watch. Why not go to Chicago?
Hell yeah.
Carson Wentz, not somebody that's on suicide watch. Well, I don't think so. Going to Indianapolis to Washington. He's now going to be part of the Trojan condom deal over there. The Commanders. Carson going to Washington. Does it make sense? Does he have any life? Go ahead.
I don't know, man. I think You know what's really, you know how I look at it, and I don't know how Coach feels about it, but I feel like they were a day too early on it. I feel like if they would have waited to see what would have happened with Deshaun Watson, which literally got cleared up a day later, they probably don't make that trade, and they probably take a shot for Deshaun Watson. I think that's really how I'm looking at it right now. I think they were way too early. I think they jumped the gun, and they're probably knocking themselves right now. Now, if they can flip Carson and some picks, because they didn't give up nothing. They really gave up nothing for Carson Wentz compared to what the Colts gave up for Carson Wentz. So if they could flip that for Deshaun, I think they would do it.
Yeah.
But I just think they were a day too early.
Well, Russell Wilson declined to go to Washington for like 3 or 4 first-round picks. You think Deshaun, who's younger, and
I think that's a Sierra thing, though. That's a Sierra thing, though. Like, what's in Washington? You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? And there's not much to do in Denver, but I mean, it's better than Washington.
Man, Washington, man, Texas City, man.
Coach, go ahead, man. What do you think? Wentz or wants to Washington? It's a lot of W's there.
I like it. Here's one of the reasons why I like it. No matter what, they're gonna run the football in Washington. One thing I don't know what happened in Indianapolis. They didn't run it like they should have. Right. Like they didn't tote it. Like Jay Taylor, he was the leading rusher, but he usually with like 20 carries. Like he should have 25 carries. The backup should have 10, 15 carries. So I think in Washington, they're going to run the football. And they're going to if you can keep Wentz at 20, 25 throws a game, then now you have a great shot. It's when you give Wentz the 30 to 40 plus is when he has those moments where it's like, whoa, what were you thinking? I just really, really, truly believe that's one of the things I like about the trade. Now the Colts, you make this trade, so you must have some kind of saying about getting Jimmy.
Right.
It has to be, because you now don't have anybody at quarterback, and Jimmy's really pretty much the only one. You're not going to give up the world for Deshaun Watson. So I like it for Washington again, because Ron Rivera is not going to say, hey, Wentz, throw it 40 times. He don't believe in it. He believes in playing defense. He believes in playing, we're going to pound this thing, and then you get your 15, 20 throws.
Yeah. Yeah, going to definitely pound it. Washington 7-10 last year as the football team, making a new era now as the Commanders, and Carson Wentz now gets to go ahead and take that torch and maybe burn down the stadium.
I would.
Stadium.
I would.
What does that leave Indy? Indy again, or are we talking?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. There you go. Jordan Love. Because everybody's talking Jordan Love today. Everybody's talking Jordan Love.
I just feel like no one else is talking about it.
And that's the thing. That's why I don't think he's going to get any love. Love is not getting love.
I like that one, Charles.
Anybody else really up here? Mitchell Trubisky, maybe. Are they going to go all in with Watson? I
think Jameis Winston to me is someone you might want to take a look at, because I think with that cap room, and I wish Randy was here, he'd be able to explain a lot more. But with that cap room, they want to continue paying guys like Quentin Nelson. They want to continue bringing in more wide receivers, because that was the problem to me, especially with Carson. I don't think Carson played poorly. I just think he didn't have a lot of weapons to play with outside of Jonathan Taylor and a couple other individuals. But I think at the end of the day, Mitchell Trubisky is definitely going to New York. Without a doubt, he's going to go follow Brian Daboll, because that's what he knows. That's what he had success in the preseason. Yeah, it makes the most sense. He's going to be able to compete with Daniel Jones. He's going to be able to fight for that starting role. If Brian Daboll wants to move on from Jones, Mitchell Trubisky would be his guy. I think that's his best bet. But I think Jameis Winston's someone that I would want to take a look at more than Jimmy, just because Coach says it all the time. Can't do shit with Jimmy. Like you really can't. There's nothing you can do with Jameis. There's the 5,000 yards. There's the 300 touchdown. 30 touchdowns. Yeah, granted, there's 30 interceptions tied to that. But after a year with Sean Payton, we did see a better version of him, and I think he's learned a lot. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to be implemented and how their relationship's going to continue, because he probably still talks to Sean. He probably still picks his brain. So I would say Jameis to the Colts would be my desire right now.
Coach, you see anybody going to the Colts that will pick up the QB1 spot?
I think they say Jimmy. And the only reason why I say they try to go for Jimmy for the simple fact of the matter is because
You can run the ball.
they want to have the same image of what pretty much as the 49ers.
Right.
So and he fits that. I mean, he got them to the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
Like I said, one thing about Winston, the only knock on Winston is he never made it to the playoffs. Like
He got him to the Super Bowl. Jimmy got him all the way there.
Yeah, so I mean,
Jimmy didn't get shit.
But
the running game got him there.
But you're right. But
you have a running game in Indy.
That's what I'm saying. So like Jameis Winston, he'll give you more when you load the box because he can throw it. But do you put him in? But you put Jimmy in the category of he's more of a winner. I mean,
he knows how to win games.
Like we said, Charles, you said it earlier. You said you would have kept Jimmy with Patriots. How it started. So that right there alone is because you feel like he's more of a winner. And then he went to the 49ers. I mean, his record is great in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he just got to get there. So I think that's probably what a lot of people is going to look at. They're going to look at him going there. Winston's not bad. Again, I 100% agree with you, but I just don't think he doesn't have the wins.
Right.
Put him in that category. Yeah, it's not
beneath my...
Real quickly, let's go and play some tag, right?
Oh yeah, Charles, let's do it.
Let's play some tag. Orlando Brown from Kansas City, David Njoku from Cleveland, Jesse Bates, your man over there, Mike, gets tagged in Cincinnati. Mike Gesicki in Miami, Dalton Schultz, tight end for Dallas, Cam Robinson, left tackle from the Jacksonville Jaguars, Devontae Adams getting tagged in Green Bay, Chris Godwin getting tagged for the Buccaneers. Who is the biggest tag surprise and who isn't? I mean, honestly, Devontae Adams is definitely not a surprise on that end. I would have thought, I don't think it was. I would have thought Njoku would have done some type of deal with Cleveland, though.
No, I thought it was Adams. I thought it was that, and I'll explain why. Because, sir, I seen the $200 million. I seen the cap space they already had. That cap space was the same number as my high school GPA. It was not high. It was low. It was bad. It was god awful. That shit looked like when you looked at how much cap space they had, it just said 2. They said 2 what? They said 2. That's it. There's nothing. We had nothing. Then they signed him to a $200 million deal. So to me, I was like, oh man, I don't know how they're going to be able to make that work. I don't know how they're going to be able to do this. I don't think they're going to be able to keep Devontae Adams. The way it was constructed, I was actually very impressed with the front office of Green Bay for being able to get that done, for being able to get Aaron to agree to that with those incentives. And that back burner type deal, which obviously Aaron don't give a shit about. He's got Jeopardy, like Charles always says. But I was very impressed by it. I think, it is very hard to pay Devontae Adams long-term money, and it's hard to pay him on a franchise tag when, you got a guy making the most money in NFL history. So I was impressed by it.
All right, Coach, biggest surprise, biggest non-surprise.
Well, I wasn't surprised about Devontae Adams for the super fact matter. We already knew that was going to happen. You'll be a fool. Fool not to franchise tag him without having Aaron Rodgers, because then Aaron Rodgers, he wouldn't have signed his contract. The tight end for the Cleveland, still got Njoku. You still got Hooper that you pay big money also.
Right. They didn't use either of them either.
Yeah, so it's like why franchise tag him? That was my biggest surprise. And real quick, because I see Anthony, he posted something. He said, talking about you think Jimmy would be good without Debo. Man, you got Taylor.
Yeah.
And that O-line. That O-line is 20 times better than Atlanta's O-line. Like, when you got Taylor, I think that
I like a couple of those rookies on the wide receiver core. I think they're okay. I think they just need to grow.
Yeah, but that's my only big surprise. I mean,
what about Godwin?
Because I said
because you were talking about Godwin getting a long-term deal, and then all of a sudden now you see him on the tag.
But I said that though, because look at the money. You say that's one of those conversations where you say, "Hey, Godwin, look, look what we have right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna franchise tag you. So then now we need to sign our lineman. We can sign OJ Howard back. We're not gonna keep Fournette. Fournette's gone. The D line is gone. Sue's gone. We can't afford them. But at least get the core of what we need, and then we can get everybody else in the draft. And when we get the other 20, 30, 40 million dollars, because now NFL is no COVID, nothing. They said forget COVID rules.
Yep, they're done.
So now everything's gonna open up crazily. So now they're like, hey, now we're gonna get you your contract.
Yeah.
Hey, coach, whatever you need, bro, just hit me up. My team's having a fire sale. Charles, you too. Whatever y'all need, I got it.
See, the only thing is, when you have a fire sale with goods and services that are actually worth something, people will be interested. But a fire sale for the Chicago Bears, that's crickets right there. That's crickets.
We've got solid players. We just don't got anything else.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Nothing.
That's another thing too.
When you go to Walmart and they're having a discount deal on one item, it ain't that interesting.
I think it's interesting.
You know what I think is interesting? That Khalil Mack trade. Finally, let's get into it. Khalil Mack goes to the Chargers. And what does somebody remind me? What did Chicago get for Mack?
Second and a fifth.
Second and a fifth.
Yeah.
For Khalil Mack.
Better than Amari Cooper.
Well, Amari Cooper's going to a dead end dodge right there. Nobody wanted to offer him anything because of his cap. But Khalil Mack going to San Diego, going to the Chargers. What does that do for the Bears defense? Do you have any worries that the Bears defense is going to slouch now?
No, I think they're going to be fine because they were slouching before. Khalil Mack missed the entire season. He didn't play. He played 3 games. And Robert Quinn, without Khalil Mack, had 19 and a half sacks. I'm perfectly competent in that. Travis Gibson, the rookie who took his place, looks really good. I am going to say this, and this is me just being unbiased because I don't think that the Bears ownership is good. I hate them. I hate everything they're doing. God rest George Halas. But the reality of the situation is defensive first teams with a great running game. It's not what the game is anymore. This is the first time a general manager came into Chicago and really took the team by its balls. And I believe in Ryan Poles. I didn't believe in Ryan Pace. I felt like, he was doing exactly what George McCaskey wanted and what the McCaskies wanted to be able to honor George Halas. Let's get Khalil Mack. Let's sign him to over $100 million deal, trade the future, so on and so forth. You know how it all went down. Lance Briggs, Brian Urlacher in the back, obviously Mike Singletary, all those guys. It's always been that way. This is the first time a guy who's coming out of Kansas City, who was a part of the draft team that got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. Everyone forgets about Kareem Hunt, but he got Kareem Hunt as well. It comes down to it to me is where this is the changing of the guard. And I'm not trying this to make people buy into it. This is just how I view it. You're able to trade Khalil Mack. You cut Danny Trevathan. You cut Eddie Goldman. You're cutting ties with Akeem Hicks. You got rid of Tariq Cohen, who was 5'6". I don't know why you signed that man to a contract anyways, but it comes down to it. Right. And he tore his ACL. I hate Ryan Pace so much. I hope he burns. But it comes down to it to where this is the changing of the guard to me, and that narrative of we're going to put over $100 million into this front seven, that's over. We're putting money into the offensive line right now, and Ryan Poles has made that adamant. And to address your defensive question, without Khalil Mack, this team was already getting bodied. So there's really no difference. And bringing in Matt Eberflus, and I wish Randy was here because he has my back on it, being a defensive-minded guy, you can shape average players to play above average or play to a standard because of how great you are defensively. And Charles, I know you know that because Bill does the same thing. Bill will take nobodies and make them pretty above average. He's just not going to make you great. He's not going to make you a Hall of Famer. Coach, I'm not saying offensively he's making great.
I didn't say nothing yet.
Bro, you just looked at the wall, bro. There was nothing there.
I think he saw a fly in there. He's like, I'm going to kill this son of a bitch.
I'm listening.
But that's my biggest point, though, is I think this is the changing of the guard, and this is the first time in my 22 years of life that I've seen, a guy come in and say, hey, we're going to build up an offensive line, and we're going to build around Justin Fields. I never once saw anybody build around Jay Cutler, build around Mitchell Trubisky, they would do stupid shit like bringing in Allen Robinson, who just tore his ACL, or Trey Burton, who nobody cared about. But now they're actually having serious talks. Hey, we're going to burn it down. This is going to be a retooling. We're going to see what happens. We're going to get rid of Eddie Jackson. We're going to get rid of Robert Quinn. right now, and coach, I'm gonna say it again, Charles, I didn't get to talk to you this week. We didn't get to have a conversation. I missed you. The Bears have $150 million in cap space as of right now for 2023. That's exciting to me. That's fun.
But you know what? We're not in 2023 yet.
But I don't care because this year I'm going to get a top 3 pick. And then next year I'll get all the free agents in the
You're
world.
going to get a top 3 pick where? You think the Bears going to finish that bad?
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, if you take a look at Mike's name tag there, he's got Mike Hughes 1252. That's not from the network he works at. That's going to be the average score between the Bears and whoever they play. Bears going to average about 12 points. The opponent's going to average 52.
And that's fine. I'll take my first round pick. Thank you.
Anthony says, did the Chargers absorb the 3-year, $60 million contract for Mack?
Yeah, the majority of it. The only thing I think the Bears have to pay is like $6 million this year to it. And then the rest is all Chargers, which to a guy, you know, this isn't 2018 anymore. You're getting paid over $20 million annually. That's quarterback money. Like the Bears are in no position to be paying Khalil Mack that money. If you have Joey Bosa and Justin Herbert and all those boys, by all means, go pay for it. But the Bears, they didn't need Khalil Mack. It was a want, not a need.
So do you feel, as a Bear fan, and you can be as biased as you want on this one, do you feel the Bears actually got enough value, or do you think they should have asked for more?
I mean, obviously you want more. You always want more. I'll say this, that second round pick means everything though. Because the way I'm looking at Amari Cooper getting traded, you know, the way I'm looking at other guys getting traded, it's like, damn, like you got a 5th and a 6th for Amari Cooper. And mind you, Khalil Mack is just as injury prone as Amari Cooper. So, and he's more expensive. So it comes down to it to me is like, I'm perfectly fine with a second round pick. You have to be honest with yourself and understand that as great as Khalil Mack is, this guy can go win Defensive Player of the Year with Joey Bosa. I believe that. Like he really can.
That was going to be the next thing too. It's like, okay, you trade Mack.
Right.
Okay. And because he's injury prone, you got this other guy making 700 sacks a season. What if you had 2 players that could make that, if Mack was healthy?
Right. Well, that's the thing. We do. It was Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn had 19.5 sacks this year. The only problem was Khalil didn't get to stay on the field long enough to be able to do that. So
but if we had Quinn and Mack on the field at the same time, would that be worth trying it?
Go ahead, Coach.
Go ahead, Coach.
The thing what people don't realize, what's the name they run a 4-3. Khalil Mack is a 3-4 backer. Right. So he didn't fit the scheme.
Right. Everflue isn't running that.
And because you're not going to put him at the end, he's too small to run a 4-3. Right. So him pretty much you trading him is not a bad. It wasn't. I mean, you got a second round pick for it. That's cool.
Do you think they undervalued Mack, or do you think they could have gotten more, or do you think
they didn't want to pay the contract?
Yeah,
they're trying to get money to make. They're pretty much trying to blow it up to where now, like you said, next year they got $100-some million, but you also got to realize they only got 8 people under contract.
150.
But you only got 8 people under contract.
Oh, they got a shit ton of guys on contract.
Yeah,
$150
million, and you have to sign.
So how you gonna go from 8 to 18?
What are you talking about?
You said they got 8 guys on contract. Now they're
18. I didn't say
18. That's solid.
So wait. $150 million. You have to sign 34 players.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And you know what though? You're drafting 7 of them. You're drafting 7 of them this year.
Then New England paid $150 million and they signed 5, right?
Yeah.
But what you got to realize too, it's a win for the Chargers because guess what? Right. Regardless, if they got to pay, they're only going to pay 17, 22, 23, and then you can cut them at any moment because
none of it's guaranteed.
Because he already got his guaranteed money from the Bears.
Right.
Yeah.
So they can pretty much say, yeah, so we at any moment we're looking at it as I got my second round draft pick is Khalil Mack, which I already know what he has.
Right.
But now the whole thing about the Bears,
but they're playing with house money now. Now they're playing with house money.
Yeah, because he fits what they want to do, and now it's gonna be kind of different now because now you're looking at Khalil Mack. Now I'm in California. It's not 30 degrees. It's hot out here. I'm going back
to -10.
Where I was at. I'm back at home pretty much.
I'm playing in a nice stadium rather than waiting for the track to open up and start getting cleared for this brand new stadium that they're building over there in 10 years where I'll never play in.
Yeah, and I only have to play. He only has to play in technically maybe 2, maybe 3 cold games a year.
Right. And that's where, to me, it's like it comes down to this at the end of the day is that, it's not 2018 anymore. Like, this can be Khalil Mack of 2018, but they also only offered a second round pick in 2023 because there's a chance it might not be. And I think with Joey Bosa's health, with Khalil Mack's health, if everything goes well, there's a conversation they could win the division. I really think that.
That second round is this year.
No.
The 6th round is next year.
I think it's next year. Both of them are next year.
Nope. I read it. Second round is this year.
Second round this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But see, the 6th round, it might. I don't
Trade
know.
it.
It depends on how good he plays. It could drop probably to a 5th or a 4th.
Yeah, something like that. It comes down to it though, where it's better than nothing for me, and just take the contract. I don't give a shit about the pick.
So let me ask you this: so you really believe in what the GM and the head coach is doing?
I believe in what I have to. Here's my thing: I have to see Matt Eberflus. I've watched tape. I've watched what the Colts have done. I've watched everything Randy Jowers, our amazing co-host, has sent me about him. I watched Hard Knocks. I love him as a person. I would just like to see what his thoughts are about this team, what else is going to happen with Eddie Jackson and a couple other guys that I don't want on this defense.
Because what you got to realize, even when we go back to the Colts had a running game.
Right.
They controlled the clock.
Well, we have a running game.
The Colts had a running game, but they had an O-line.
That's where it's different.
And then now the big question is, Mike, and you heard us say
you have to have no line to have a running game, just let you know.
And you heard us say it all day and since the whole entire season. Everybody's in need of O-linemen.
Right.
So it's gonna, you have to pick and choose. Now you're gonna go through the draft,
right?
Or are you gonna go through the free agent? That's one of the big things. Don't get me wrong. I like what he did with the Colts, but also keep in mind he didn't stop the Jaguars.
No, 100%. Like that's the problem. That's the problem.
Hey, look. Hey, when it's all said and done.
But I mean, when you look at that Jaguars game, though, it was what 3-9. He did kind of stab the Jaguars.
And I'm curious also to see what he's gonna do offensively. Like, because then they get
you got the Packers coordinator. Yeah. You got the Packers.
No, not coordinator. Quarterback coach. When he quarterback coach, he was something.
He was a coordinator in Green Bay. He became the quarterback's coach for Aaron.
Okay.
He started off as the offensive coordinator, but here's my thing, coach, and I want to break down that Jaguars thing.
Go and wrap this up.
Hey, really quick, Charles. Hey, that man held Jacksonville to 9 points. He only controls the defense. I don't know what you want him to do about Trevor Lawrence only having 3 points as a total.
No, it was 26-11.
26-11.
Yeah.
That's
you
still
don't
not
even check your own damn games.
Randy told me 9. Randy told me.
Listen. All I know is Jacksonville, New England 50, Jacksonville 10. I mean,
because look, Mike, here I'm gonna tell you the quarters. 7-0 first. It was 7-0 first quarter. It was 13-3 second quarter, and then it was 23-3 third quarter.
Damn.
But what happened? Wait, but
what happened at the end? They scored 8 points out of nowhere.
What happened in the playoffs to the best defense in the league, though?
Who's the best?
They got dropped 50 keys by the Bills.
Oh, but we are.
Are you talking about my team?
No.
I'm talking about.
No. You talking about my team? Okay, we got to the playoffs.
That's cool. What'd you do?
We already did that.
Do you want to
Mike, don't you do that? No, Mike, don't do that because you know why? Because you was all Bill.
I like Bill. I didn't say I like that defense. I like Bill.
It's a 1-seat car that I'm in. I'm in a go-kart by myself saying how sorry he is as a coach. So there's nobody to jump on the bandwagon.
Hey, that's fine. Because guess what, coach? I was the only one in the Josh Allen car, and guess what? He pieced everybody, and he would have won if he would have got.
Coach, it was crowded in that bandwagon that you've been on for the past couple of years. Now all of a sudden, everybody jumped ship. Literally jumped ship.
I didn't jump. Hey, we're just talking that ish. I'm just saying it's a two-way street. Everybody's got bad days.
Hey, so let me ask you this, Mike, and I'll be done with it. The whole Josh Allen. If Josh Allen loses out of the second round, he's still considered an elite quarterback next year.
If he came out of the second round,
If he loses out of the second round,
I mean, I don't really got nothing to do with that, but I mean,
okay.
it happens.
All right, Charles.
What does Aaron Rodgers do every single year?
I never put him in the
The hell with Aaron Rodgers, the hell with Josh Allen, even the hell with Mac Jones. We're talking about the Bears.
Right.
Khalil
Oh,
Mack,
but coach
not
got me
doing.
distracted.
Oh,
but
you're
I
doing
do
the
believe
stacking
in these
draft
guys.
picks. You're drafting. Oh man, I can't wait for this next draft because you know you're gonna suck this year, and then next year can't wait for these draft picks because you know you're gonna suck again. Right. So it's like, all you do is stockpile draft picks. What's the point? You gonna want to get a good seat in Vegas to watch the draft? Is that it?
Here's the way I look at it. You already have your quarterback, so that's the first thing that's addressed. I think that's perfect for what we're trying to do, is because that's never been the thing we're doing.
You're not going to keep him alive if you don't get an O-line, though.
Right, but that's what I'm trying to tell you, is that's what I like about the Khalil Mack trade, is they're not trying to, okay, you have Matt Eberflus as your head coach. Normally, traditionally, what they would do, whether it be Lovie Smith or whoever, they're going to keep building that defense to make Eberflus happy. Instead, now they're saying, listen, we're going to tear this down. You're going to build a culture. You're going to draft these guys later in the rounds, and we're going to see what we can do with that. We're putting all the offense and all the money into the offense, and I'm really excited about that. They want young, fast guys. They don't want these slow guys for the run game. They want fast offensive linemen. Ryan Poles has said that, and that's what's different, because the problem with these guys, the Bears' offensive line is decent. They can help you run the ball. No, 100%. They cannot stop the pass rush whatsoever because these guys are slow. That's why they need to get faster. They need to get healthy. And I'm really excited to see what he's going to be capable of doing with that, because this is the first time in a long time I've ever heard a GM say it's an offensive first team. And the fact that he walked into that building and grabbed the team by the balls the way he has, I can't speak for how he's going to draft, but I look at what he previously did as the draft scout leader and of that whole department. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, not Sammy, but Kareem Hunt, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and a great offensive line. I mean, I have to go off of what I've already seen, and what I've already seen worked perfectly.
Right now, the Bears, I don't think this takes into factor the Mack trade, but the Bears right now, just under $37 million in cap space right now. And
for Mack, it's going to be not this year, but next year it's going to be over 20. So they have like 140 to play with. That's before this free agency starts. After, it'll probably be around 100. I don't see them going too crazy in free agency.
Who?
The Bears.
Bears, yeah, the Bears.
So y'all just gonna live? You gonna go through the draft?
No, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Why he's even said it? Why are we gonna look at Bobby Wagner? Bobby Wagner's a free agent. The Bears of last year, they're jumping all over Bobby Wagner. They're gonna give him a 5-year deal, $100 million. Now they don't need Bobby Wagner. They don't give a shit. We're not in a position to win, and we understand that. And that's where I've been for years. Is this team is not good enough to win? Why do we keep doing this just to go 8-8?
So just to go ahead and clarify, and this again, according to Sport Track, if no changes are made from here until now or till whenever, right now, 2023, Bears would have 20 people under contract, cap space, $174 million, right above Indianapolis with $167 million.
Right, that's a lot of money to play with. So I'm excited about it. I think even filling out the roster, you fill it all on a 1-year deal, you're still going to have that money.
It sounds like a lot of money, but the first number I mentioned, you only have 20 players signed.
No, right, but that's what I'm saying. If you put all these guys in and just do 1-year deals, who cares? Because you're not playing to contend whatsoever. So if you do 1-year deals and then go into 2023 and expect to get big name free agents, that's fine.
Can I ask you this?
Quickly.
So when you got all this money, so when are you starting to see the change? Because you also got to realize something too, Mike. You wait too long, guess who you got to pay?
Justin Fields.
You got to pay him, and by the time he's done, you're talking about what Aaron Rodgers got $50 million. That's gonna be peanuts,
right?
Because
I'm looking at it.
That's scary.
I'm looking here. Here's how I'll be very honest about it, and I'm not giving them no 4 or 5 years. I'm giving you 2 years, and by that I mean the 2023 beginning of the 2023-2024 season. You will have already 1 year in the 2022 draft. Then you have the 2023 draft. Then you have free agency of 2023, which Charles, $170+ million as of today. If you sign everybody on 1-year deals, that's perfect. That's enough time. You have all these draft picks. That's 2 first-round draft picks, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, yada, 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 yada. Then $170+ million to play with. If you're not content by the beginning of that season, I don't know what to tell you, because you already have just decent pieces. You have Mooney, Fields, Kmet, Roquan Johnson, all yada, yada, yada. You already got all that. So you're not too far off. You just need to build something. That's 2 years to build something.
I actually like looking into the future here and seeing all this, because it does back up Mike's point of view. But here's the team that actually looks really good. And I'm talking about people that they already have guaranteed signings and a lot of cap space. Philadelphia.
Right. Very good. And
they will have 40 people signed and still have $72 million to work with.
That's solid.
Yeah. Mike, go ahead and plug your network that you're on as well. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. You can find me 1252 Sports Entertainment. I'm doing everything on Saturdays, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I don't care about Mountain Time. I don't care about getting used to Mountain Time. So if you are in Mountain Time, can figure that out for yourself, because it's too hard for a Chicago public school kid to figure out all these different time zones. But 1252, they do great things. It covers all Chicago sports. I'm not leaving the ASAP network. I'm chilling over here, but I do love what I do over there. If you want to find things, Cubs, Bulls, Blackhawks, Bears, so on, White Sox, we cover it. Just check it out.
Just tells you the type of education Mike has, where you can't go ahead and minus 1 hour from a central time zone. That's all I'm just saying.
Nope, I refuse.
Chicago. Coach, anything you want to plug, go right ahead, man.
Man, I don't have anything coming. I got stuff coming soon. It's all in the wraps, but hopefully by the end of the month, I will start being like Mike and Charles and start plugging like crazy.
Yeah. You do that. Make sure you go ahead and tune into my show, The Charles Richardson Show, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 9 Eastern. That's 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we are live. Check us out on rawtalkonlineradio.com and all of my affiliates, which is growing as we speak, 14 affiliates. Not going to name them all, but just go ahead and make sure you check out the flagship station, rawtalkonlineradio.com. Guys, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week here on the Touchdown Crew. Peace.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.